It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning. This is City Beat on 102.9 CHTM. I'm Sue O'Brien, and today we have Deputy Mayor Dennis Fenske filling in for Mayor Tim Johnston. Welcome, Dennis.
Good morning, Sue.
I'll let you start, Dennis, by giving an update on some of the things that have been happening around the city this past week.
Basically, as you're all aware, with the heavy snowfall and the cold weather, we've been experiencing a number of equipment breakdowns, as everyone who has a vehicle that doesn't get plugged in or anything like that. But so we're asking the public's patience with us as we try to pick up garbage and recycling, get the equipment back on road. Which leads us into the other big issue is snow, and we're in the middle of snow removal. And we've got lots of equipment out there, so we ask people to be aware of big equipment that are around you, be aware of your surroundings. And following into that, because of the snow, there's lots of piles around. We're asking the kids to please stay off the snow piles. I know it's attractive to do the sliding, but one slip and you're into the roadway and into the traffic. So please be careful and avoid the large snow piles, although they are very attractive.
Okay. And just to let listeners know, if they have a question for Dennis, they can please call 677-3905. So Dennis, the City Council is currently working on the budget. Can you tell us a little bit about the process that goes on in creating the budget?
Basically, it starts in the fall. We do a discussion with all of our staff. We do some general consultations with the public, with open houses at the various schools, which gives us an idea of what people are looking for in the upcoming budget. Then it's a matter of meeting with the staff, also meeting with the groups that we fund to talk about their upcoming budget requests. We have a number of deliberations amongst council. The timeline, we have until May 15th to submit the budget to the province for approval, but our fiscal year is actually January 1st to December 31. So we're already into the 2014 budget, and that's why recently at a recent council meeting you've seen motions to approve expenditures on a provisional basis, and that's the norm for every council, and in fact for the province they approve provisional amounts so that they can continue working on with a draft budget. And so for us, we've got a couple meetings left. Then we'll do the final consultation with our staff. We'll do a public consultation, public presentation. Then we will pass the bylaw by resolution and submit the documentation to the province by May 15th.
Okay. And I imagine some of the money that comes from the province, that plays a big role in what can be done here in the city.
Absolutely. There's a lot of transfer grants that come from the federal government, such as the gas tax allowance, as well as provincial funding that comes through as well. One of the big issues that we had last year was the census and the discrepancy in our numbers. We are currently at a corrected number of 13,123, which was up from the 1,200 or 12,800 or so that the census provided. So that impacted us in the short term. We're back to the real numbers, so we should see actual dollars in 2014 that reflect our census. And other grants that flow through the city of Thompson are coming. I mean, it's like every level of government. You have to pick and choose where the best bang for your buck is and where the money is spent. So we're not overly concerned with shortages. We're just basically looking at what our operations are requiring, what the priorities are doing, and then moving forward with that.
Okay. And what about the water utility? How much is that generating? Is that, and where's that money going to? Actually,
it's surprising, with the water utility, with the implementation of the meters and everything, there was the whole discussion of paying for water, and when in fact we were already paying for water, but through our property taxes. We've separated that out into a utility, so you get two bills in the mail. Like quarterly, you get a water bill for the utility, and then you get your annual tax bill. So with the introduction of the utility, we actually saw approximately a 30% decrease in the use of water. People in the past would leave a hose running, a sprinkler running in the summer for 24 hours. We don't see that very often this past summer, for example, and it all comes down to cost. It costs people money. They now see a bill, so they can track how much it costs them. So we've seen a 30% reduction in the use of water, which affected the revenue that we were projecting. So basically, within the utility, you can only spend the revenue that you bring in. It's got to be a balanced budget. So we've made adjustments in that fact in regards to the budget and the allocation of funds. There is a portion as well of the water bill that goes towards the capital projects, and we've had a couple open houses in regards to the wastewater treatment plant that we are looking for in 2015. That's approximately a $36 million project, of which our share should be around $12 million, with the province and the federal government coming on board as well. So that's the long-term planning that we're looking at the sustainability of this community in regards to wastewater treatment. That's the big project upcoming.
Okay. And in the first City Council meeting of the new year, there was a report on the city's cold weather policy. For the month of December, the policy had been activated something like 30 times. How is January's numbers looking? Do you know?
The numbers are similar. We are still in that cold snap. Everybody's experiencing it. Everybody's seen the 30 belows. We are very fortunate that we had the policy in place. There was some discussion last year as to the pros and cons of that. But at the end of the day, we have a shelter that has limited numbers. Once that capacity is reached, we have resources, not city resources, but we have resources made available, and the city has provided the 3 outdoor rink buildings, only one of which has been utilized on a regular basis. But we have been averaging anywhere from 3 to probably 10 people per evening, both male and female. They're supervised, and it gets them out of the 30 below. It's not a hotel. No. It's a basic concrete building with benches. There's some mats and some blankets. It's very crude in that matter, but it gets people out of the elements. And as you see recently in Winnipeg, there's been a couple losses, and I mean there's circumstances involved with that, but a lot of the contributing factors is cold weather, and thankfully, knock on wood, that we have had no fatalities this year, and we're hoping that we can continue this way and get through this cold snap.
Well, definitely. I mean, you don't want anything to happen just because someone doesn't have a space.
Absolutely.
To be. All right. Now I had a couple questions that I received by email. The first one has to do with the street cleaning. The other night, it says, city crews cleaned the streets in Deerwood, but no signs were put up ahead of time to indicate that was going to happen. And that meant that some vehicles were left parked in the streets and roads couldn't be cleared completely. The streets are now bumpy, snowy, and not easy to maneuver. Will the city go back to clear up those roads?
Yes. Basically, I mean, I'm hoping that people understand that we're under unusual circumstances in the amount of snow we've got for the one part, and for the second, for the long period of cold weather that we've had. So we are trying to do our best to, and normal practice would be we would get a snowfall, we clear the priority 1, 2 areas, and then go into the residential areas. We usually are able to put the signs up prior to. We usually are able to do these things in a timely fashion. But with combination of trying to complete one area and then another snowfall, or you get a cold snap of minus 43 with equipment breakdowns, it's been a trying experience for everybody, and understanding the residents can get frustrated as well with the bumpy streets. I would just urge that everybody be patient. We'll get through this. On the upside, it will melt eventually, but right now it's trying for everybody. I just caution everybody, drive to the conditions of the road, especially look out for the kids, because the snow is attractive. I go home every day to lunch and I see kids on the snowbanks, and I just hope that they're not slipping and falling. So just be cautious of equipment and people around.
Okay. And I have actually seen, the signs out marking areas quite in advance. I mean, I think that was maybe an anomaly.
Yes, for sure.
Sure. And the second question, what's the policy regarding the garbage and recycle bins? If they aren't closed all the way, will the trucks still empty them? How much leeway is given?
That's a discretionary thing. I think, common sense prevails. If the lid is flipped all the way open and it's overflowing, we're not going to pick them up. The responsibility is to the homeowner to fill the bins to capacity, if that's what it takes. If they're open 2 or 3 inches, nothing's falling out, then I'm sure we'll be okay. But you don't want to overflow it to the fact that the lid's open and things can fall out before the bin actually gets lifted to the truck.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe Dennis, I'll let you give a brief overview of what's coming up in the next week or so here in Thompson.
Well, not only the next week, but the whole month. As everybody knows, February is Winterfest month, and it kicks off on February 1st. There's a large program, starts at noon and goes right through till 7 p.m. It accumulates with the fireworks display at the Thompson Regional Recreation Center. There are 3 shows throughout the month, all at the Lechman Theatre. One is called Bubble Man, that's on February 8th. Rubber Spaceman is on February 15th, and the Shonster and the Monster is February 22nd. Tickets are all $8 at the door. They are available, more information is available at the Thompson Regional Recreation Community Center, Monday through Friday at 8:30 from 8:30 till 9 p.m., where you can phone 204-677-7952, or you can also visit the Thompson website at thompson.ca.
Okay, and also too, maybe just a quick reminder that the North Stars have their last home game this weekend.
Yes, they do. So be sure and come out and support the team. Hopefully for a couple wins.
Yeah, they've actually been doing pretty good in the last little while.
Excellent.
Good stretch. Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks to Deputy Mayor Dennis Fenske for joining me today. City Beat will return next Thursday at 11:30 here on 102.9 CHTM. I encourage everybody to have a great week.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning at